Good morning, welcome to Planet Mojo. Today we're going to wrap up the punch list with all of the water related stuff. We're going to start with this outdoor faucet. There's a problem with this, and I'll show you that back in the wood shop. When I drilled the holes in that blocking, I drilled them large enough for these fittings here, and what I thought would be large enough for these fittings that go on the end of there. They're just a bit too small for these fittings. And in order to get those holes bigger, once you have a hole like that, it's kind of hard to drill it bigger. The bit wants to bounce all over the place. So I've come up with a solution. It should work, but we'll see. What I'm going to do is figure out what size of a hole I need to drill, and then enlarge the hole with this step drill. I just need the outside rim enlarged, and then I can use a Forstner bit like this. These cut with the rim, so once that hole is enlarged so that the rim can do the cutting and not the center point, it should go straight in. If I were to just take this and try to enlarge the hole, it would go all over the place and just make a mess. So I'm going to take a calipers to this and see what the point-to-point dimension is on this nut here, and go a little bigger than that. Hopefully this step drill goes large enough for that. We'll see in just a second. Couldn't find my calipers, so use these dividers and got that dimension, and it comes to 1 3/8. So see how big this is. Yeah, this is about 1 3/8. I want to go, I'll probably go with 1.5 inches, and I believe this might be 1.5 inches max. Ooh, it's right at that 3/8. It's possible I can get this through with that snug of a fit, because that's just the points. If I drill it at the maximum of this, I should be able to just shove this right through. What I need to do is get these attached and attach a little bit of pipe to them, and then once that cabinet's in place, I'll be pushing this right into the cabinet. It can't go in there right now, but I have to be sure that I'm able to push this into the cabinet once the cabinet's in place. Once the cabinet's in place, it's going to be a little late to do all this stuff. So let me do a little bit of figuring, and we'll go test this out. Okay, so just a little bit of extra room with that 1 3/8 bit. Yeah, I think it's kind of hard to measure this, but I believe if I go to this largest step, I should be able to do this. So let's head over there. It's really, really windy out, but I think we're going to be blocked from the wind on that side of the building. It's kind of coming from that direction, so like when I did that intro, it was coming around the building, but we should be able to film over there. Let's go give it a try. Just had a gust of wind come around the corner. That was really bad. Hopefully we don't get another one real soon. Okay, here we go. Okay. That worked perfect. I really lucked out that the step drill went large enough for the size bit I needed to drill into there. I don't think step drills go up much larger than this. Maybe they do. I haven't seen it though. Okay. I have these ends just loosely attached here. Now we'll give this a try. Okay, that is going to work perfect. We'll just plug these holes back up again, and it's possible that I'm going to use different ends on here. I was looking at different ways of doing this, and I might use like braided washer hose because it's so much more flexible. I'll be able to go to the shutoff valve, you know, like curl it up. That's how it is in the drawings. I figured I could do that with PEX as well, but I think it might be easier to just do that with washer hose. I don't know. Either way, it's going to work now. So I just have to plug these back up with some paper towels, and that can wait until we set the cabinet in place. Now I need to go get the stuff for the testing of the water. That is on the hydrant in the wood shop from when I tested the water over there. So let's go get that and whatever we need and get this water tested. That kind of scares me, but it should be just fine. First, I need this fitting right here so I can connect this hose to the water line in there. And then I need a couple other fittings. Let's see, we should be able to go right about there. A little bit of water still in the lines. Okay. So I gotta cut this band off, and then we'll attach a piece of PEX and an elbow to what's there. I'll explain all that stuff when we get over there. Let me get this cut off and gather up the rest of the fittings, and then I'll tell you what we're doing when we're over there. I was gathering up the fittings to do the test, and this fitting right here goes into the water line. I have to heat that up to expand it a little bit, and then it'll push down in there. And then it has a 90-degree elbow, and inside the cabinet, it's going to go to the side of the cabinet and then turn again. But I was just going to leave it like this until the cabinet is pushed over the top. So I was thinking that my test fitting was just going to go onto here, but then looking around, I noticed I don't have anything that's going to go from here onto hose, and I was thinking I would have to call Natalie and tell her to pick something up when I saw this. I can just put this valve on there and then take that off later on, but put the valve on there, then I'll have a hose fitting on both sides, and we can test it, and all should be well, hopefully. So I forgot to get the dimension. The height of this line right here, where the water goes across, is pretty critical. So I'm going to find that out, and then we'll get going on this. We're just going to leave this fitting attached to the hose, and then we're going to connect this end to the water in the tiny house out in the tiny house. But this other end, we're going to attach this elbow permanently to this fitting, and then we're going to remove this and attach it to here. It's going to be temporary, but it can't leak anyways. And we're going to cut this stuff off as well. We need to use these hose clamps. I'm sure I got other ones, but might as well reuse these. And then got to get the heat gun. A lot of stuff, but we're going to use the vise over in the machine shop to get this off and get this stuff attached and all that stuff. So let's go get that stuff done first, and then we'll head out there with the heat gun and the PEX tool and get this all hooked up. Okay, we got our little sub-assembly here. This is going to be attached to that blue line over in the tiny house. We'll get these clamps off, grab the heat gun. We need to have the center line of this water at 8 inches from the floor. So we have to cut that pipe in there so that it matches up like this with this 8 inches off the floor. Pretty simple stuff. Let's get these off, grab the heat gun, and get her done. Okay, first thing we got to do is get this pipe cut to the right length. And how we're going to do that, it wants to be the center line of the water needs to be 8 inches off the floor, which is that right there. So we need to hold that right on the 8 inches. And then mark the pipe right there. Now we'll cut it to that length, heat this up. I've got to actually get the hose clamps on it. Get these down in here. You can get them on afterwards, but it's not easy. We have something to stop them down there. Just send them down. And I forgot the heat gun. Beautiful. And then this has to aim directly to the east, and inside the cabinet it's going to have some stuff going along the wall there. But let me go get the heat gun and we'll get this put on. This heat gun is set at 750. I can go higher, but that should do it. It's getting pretty hot right now. And that's about it. Bring these up and tighten them up. And then it's on to the pecs. This hose clamp on the top broke. It should work just fine with one hose clamp. I can replace that top one. Well, I will replace that top one. Now, we'll get this fitting on here, and then we'll go do some PEX work over there. Make sure this valve is turned off. This just needs to be snugged up a little bit. This is a permanent fitting, so we want it to be like right in line with this line here in the very end. But for now, I just want to make sure that this is in line like that. Yeah, that's the thing about PEX fittings. It's difficult to use the tool without everything going diddly-wampus. Perfect. Alright, now we'll test this. It's testing out. Now, this piece that I'm putting on now is going to be cut down to size later, but or cut off completely, so it's not as critical. That is what it's going to look like. It's going to be a little bit higher, but it's going to go like that and then like that into the cabinet. It'll all get fixed in place when we put the drywall in. Perfect. Now, that hose end that we cut earlier, with the fitting still on it, we're going to connect that right here. This fitting's going to get cut off. No need to test it. Now, we're going to put a valve on the outside and then turn it on. All right, here's our setup. This is permanent. This will be removed later. So if there's no leaks here or here, then we're real good there. If it leaks a little bit at this hose or at that hose fitting there, don't care at all. What I care about is that elbow right there, the T fitting right here. There's 3 joints there. And then over here we have a 90 and a 90, and it could leak here too, but well, yeah, and here. So, oh, and it's really windy out there. I don't know if I'll be able to show this, but this pipe goes out of the building and that's going to get connected to the next addition. There's a valve on there. I don't care if it leaks out of that either, but once I'm done testing, I'm going to be taking all this stuff off, shutting the water off, and I'll take that valve back off. And then all of this stuff will be empty until it's used. Okay, I need to go get the key. The water shutoff is right out there. I'm going to go out there. We'll see if it's too windy to film or not. But we'll turn on the water, and that should bring it up to this valve. The valve is off, and then we'll come in here and turn that on. And I'll probably leave it on overnight. Run some water through it, leave it on overnight, and see if we got any leaks. This makes me very nervous because we're dealing with a 1-inch water line with a lot of pressure behind it. Okay, here we go. It's on. All right, I'll turn this on slowly because I'm not 100% sure which way that other faucet is off. Okay. The system is charged. I'm always very wary of these hose barb connections. That is the way you connect this type of hose, but it only has one clamp and that has a lot of pressure behind it. So I'll get that other clamp on there as soon as possible. But I can feel the coolness in this hose and in this brass here. No leaks. I don't expect it to leak anywhere in the pipe itself. And I don't think I have anything to test this except for just getting a towel and holding a towel here and letting it spray, or a bucket. I'll probably do that. I want to get some water in here because just turning the water on like this is not going to purge the lines. There's probably air right here. You would hear it hissing if it was leaking, but I'd like to get water all the way to the end. Now, we'll brave the wind. Oh, good. Calm down a little bit. Open this up. I'm kind of blocking the wind. The wind's picking up again. Let this clear out a little bit. It's been a little over a year since there was water in these lines at all. That is so awesome. Let me get a bucket and we'll test that other fitting, and then we'll let this go a while. I'm not going to let it go overnight. We'll let it go a while, and then I'm going to cut this off. Well, I might as well just cut it off right here, and we'll get this set for winter. Okay, here goes nothing. I got to reach underneath this to pick this. That's the drywall cover. This is a little inconvenient. Holy moly. That is a lot of power. Okay. I got probably a gallon in here in just a couple seconds. Okay, the test is a success. All right. We're going to go over and look at the punch list, make sure we got everything. Like I said earlier, I got to seal off this door so that it's an escape door and not a door that's accessible from the outside. I'm going to foam this stuff up, and that is about it. Oh, and decommission this, but like I wanted to do at first, I'm going to let this sit overnight, and then I'll come back tomorrow and take it all off. And I think I'll leave that valve on until we're ready to put the cabinet in place. Yeah, I'm really pleased with this. I've never had a leak with PEX yet, but you'd hate to have it happen when you got insulation and drywall in place. Okay, let's go look at that punch list, and we are out of here. So, I'm not exactly sure how we're going to be filming the next few steps over there. Like I said, I'm going to be teaching Natalie how to drywall, but I have to do some of it for a review. So that remains to be seen, but you will see the progress over there, and you'll definitely see the making of that cabinet. All of this stuff goes in that water cabinet, the cabinet with the sink, all of this stuff, and this big old sink over here. Where is that? This sink and all that stuff, all in one cabinet. That is going to be an interesting series of videos, and that'll be coming up shortly. So, the punch list. We have the metal covers, those are the nail plates. That's all done. Remove the AC. That's done, didn't get it on camera. Install faucet with adapters in place. Main PEX through wall. Finish plumbing, that we just did that today with the testing. Test the lines in the wall. And then it says over, and on the other side it just shows how I planned on doing that, which you just saw. Stage water heater wire, I believe I just showed you that. That's going to be pulled into the box in the back of the cabinet. Teach Natalie to drywall. So that's what's going to be next. And like I said, I'm not exactly sure how we're going to film that or what's going to be filmed, but that'll be coming up soon. This, like I said, will not be installed until we get the cabinet in place, so that's going to be a ways down the road. A lot of the future videos are going to be me finishing up the wood shop here. So if you want to see any tiny house videos or the continuation of the wood shop videos, I'm going to be starting back on the dust collection system in a couple days. So if you want to see any of those videos, make sure you subscribe and click on the update icon. If you have any questions or comments, make sure you put them in the comment section below. And if you share the video and or give it a like, it helps the channel out greatly. Thanks for watching and have a great day.